Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a life purpose reading on Daniel and Henrik Sedin. If it's your first time catching me, my name is Remy Reminder, the RKH. I am your psychic healer, lawyer, author, and coach. You can check out more about me in the description, but I do life purpose readings for individuals that I find fascinating. But being a Vancouverite, I am currently doing the Vancouver Canucks as we head into our next season. Still a few months away, but I did do Manny Malhotra a few weeks ago because he is going to be the new head coach, or is the new head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, assisted by Daniel and Henrik Sedin, who are also a part of the executive team and former Canucks that have been retired. Numbers 33 and 22. I'm so excited to do this because they're going to work miraculously together. They're going to butt heads a little bit. We're not going to see it on screen, but I want to let you know what's going to be happening behind the scenes while also looking at Henrik and Daniel's human design. If this is your first time hearing about human design, this is your soul's blueprint and it's based on your astrology. We have one human design. Our design does not change as we age or as we grow, but how we relate to it can. And if you want to know your human design, you can get the free guide via my website or right here. And I also do human design readings, which I would love to do for you. They're a one-time reading, so you do it one time, you never do it again. And I also write you a custom write-up so you never forget the quirks, the uniqueness, and the main bullet points of your human design. So life purpose is a way we act, and that's what I teach in human design. It's a way we act. I say it's not a destination. We have titles in our life that inform our purpose, but our purpose is us evolving. The way in which we act helps bring in different opportunity. Without further ado, I'm going to be looking at Henrik and Daniel, or Daniel and Henrik's human design. So you may be wondering why I'm looking at their human design together. Because if you're born at nearly the same time, with the same birthday, in the same location, you're going to have the same human design. I did Mamdani about a month ago, and Mamdani and I have the exact same birthday, and we fairly have the same design. There's a few key differences, even though we were born in different areas of the world. How cool is that? Henrik is 5 minutes older than Daniel, and I don't know their birth times. I just know their birthdays. They're Libras like me. They actually have the same birthday as my dad, and they were born in Sweden, of course. The only way that they're going to have a different design from each other is if there was a big planetary shift, change, and alignment that was going on at that specific time, and that's highly unlikely. So we're gonna go in and look at their design right now. What's super cool is that Manny Malhotra and the Sedins are the same age. Manny Malhotra's birthday already passed earlier this year in May, but the Sedins have a Libra birthday on September 26, 1980. And that is what their human design is based on. For generators, I love generators because I'm a generator, and generators make up a large portion of individuals on the planet. They are the light source and light force and are great leaders. They often lead the path behind manifestors and do really well within the system. So they're going to do good in their role as executive, more specifically as co-president. Profile is a 6-2 in human design, showing a transpersonal profile, meaning people are meant to learn their karma through them, which also means that people will be given opportunity through them. It really makes sense because they're presidents. They're going to be the ones handing out certain opportunities or the ones making certain calls. As a 6-2, the 6 represents a role model and the 2 is a hermit. So they're role models and hermits. They approach being role models after a time of introspection, and they were really vocal about the fact that they both retired from hockey in order to take care of their family, which would have been similar to hermit time. Not that that's negative. It simply means that they wanted to reflect, do some internal work, become introspective, and see what they could do next in order to be effective role models. And this is going to be the perfect role for them. The role models like them only show up brilliantly and brightly when they know that they can fully be in a leadership capacity. And that really goes hand in hand with the generator. The last thing a generator wants is to go forward with being a leader while not being able to fully execute the duties that they are meant to perform. Because performing well means that your light is bright. It's not bright, you're not magnetizing to opportunity, and you're not giving your best, meaning that your team or those that are following your lead or learning through you are not going to be doing the best either. And one thing I want to say is they're going to be very successful from October to December. Their energy is going to be very poignant. Their energy is going to be well positioned. They're going to start off strong in the season, and we're going to hope that that continues through the rest of the season. Come late winter around February, we might see a little bit of a dip because that is when their energy naturally dips. So they're going to have to recalibrate, and that's likely where Manny Malhotra's energy is going to come in and become more rambunctious. They have an emotional authority in human design. So do 50% of us on the planet. and is ruled by the solar plexus, meaning they're going to be making decisions based on how they feel. So not everybody will understand why they're making the decisions they're doing, but they're going to be following their intuition, and following their intuition will allow them to have better opportunity and better results. A little bit of an insight into their birth chart. They're Libra suns, Aries moon, and Aries rising. Makes sense for the fiery redheads that they would have that fire in their chart. So they're going to be very fast-paced, not taking too long to make decisions, but will have balanced and reciprocal energy. A lot of success will come from them wanting to do better simply to prove a point, or maybe looking at old vengeances as a way to create better harmony or outcomes now. Meaning, if they lost against a certain team in the past, even if those players or the coach isn't there anymore, they may want to prove a point and be like, we're going to take them down this time. Boston Bruins, anyone? Maybe that's why that Boston cream donut commercial happened, if you saw that. Life purpose is a left angle cross of healing. An energy between serendipity and vitality, as well as really experiencing things through unconditional love. So every decision they make, like I said, is going to be thought out from their hermit time, but they're putting it all in and gambling with a high risk tolerance. Subconsciously, they already know that they have a really good reputation in Vancouver, and they're hoping that they don't F it up by taking on the role of co-presidents, seeing how much like the Aquilinis and the executives usually get shat on throughout the season. Their purpose, they have a large capacity for stillness, which is why you see them as stoic. They're processing a lot, and they know that they don't need to showboat or be super dramatic to have a presence. Their existence is simply enough. So within this concentration is where they have the most growth and healing. So if they're quiet or they're the same as they have been before, don't be surprised. They're not going to be super vocal. They're not going to change their personality, and you may see Manny Malhotra more at the front of taking on these conversations, even in comparison to RJ. Now we're going to be looking at the main components of their human design. So how are they really meant to succeed? What are a few things that get in the way? And where is their sabotage going to kick it up a notch? Their main purpose and energy is harbored in gate 46. We have 64 gates within us. Not all of us are meant to succeed in every single area. Some of us are meant to succeed based on mentorship. We're able to get half the job done. We have to collaborate on the second half. But these are the ones that work really well for them. So their embodiment and their concentration on being in embodiment is going to really help them spread more light. They believe in serendipity, and they maintain determination in that, meaning that they continue to go with what they're feeling emotionally and instinctually, regardless of what people are saying to them. They're going to do very, very well. And this is going to help them as it comes to Manny Malhotra, because as I said in his life purpose reading, he's going to be throwing some unique plays in or giving people opportunity, not necessarily to fully change their position like offense to defense, but he's going to be just less strict and rigid. It looks like the Sedins are going to be supportive of that eventually. Next one is 59-6. They're able to foster a community, and a community that creates harmony. So they're going to have a lot of respect naturally in the locker room. Everybody on the exec team will, and that's going to go a long way in terms of what they're able to collaborate on and create as a whole team. They're also able to maintain healthy boundaries in times of friction. So Manny Malhotra may be a little bit more hot-headed, where, like I said, they're going to be more stoic. And if you want to watch Manny Malhotra's video, you can do that. So in moments of friction, they're not going to freak out. They're basically just going to let the energy pass and pick up with that determined energy again. It will be really helpful because Canucks executive has a bad rap, making just dumb decisions, uninformed or impulsive decisions, and they're not going to allow that to happen. They want to build trust within the team. Lastly is 49. Their principles and basically having faced rejection before, even if that's through a press conference, having faced losses, just understanding the overall pressure and turmoil of the sport and the league itself is going to help them be wonderful co-presidents, and is going to allow them to transfer their skills laterally to be really efficient and effective on and off the ice. Things that are going to get in the way, one is 11-56. Sometimes it's going to feel difficult for them to be empowered. They're going to feel like, oh, I can't really be empowered. And in those moments, they may start to gaslight themselves. And if Manny Malhotra is the one that is making a lot of the calls, or he's being a little bit aggressive in making them, not negatively, they're going to take a little bit of a backseat and probably gaslight themselves because they do have a little bit of imposter syndrome that will get in the way. But for all of them, like Manny, Daniel, and Henrik, that imposter syndrome is what helps them strive to be better. 16 to 48, another one that's going to get in the way, is that sometimes they're not going to know whether or not they can be good mentors because they're in such a unique and different role than they've kind of been in the past. They've done a lot of philanthropy and volunteer work and had other roles within the system, but this is different. This is their home. This is where their numbers are literally retired. Always going to want to do the best and be a little bit scared of messing up, but their desire and ability to mentor effectively through being humble is what is going to carry them through. And lastly, a few things when it comes to sabotage. How they're going to sabotage is by overthinking the complexity of every single decision that they're making. This is a blessing and a curse for twins because they're very much in tune and they have the telepathy, and each of them are going to be picking up on each other's strengths and weaknesses and overthinking in these moments. See a lot of late night conversations of them trying to suss this out. They have to continue to tell themselves, what do we want to achieve? Who do we want to be? And how is this different from what we were doing before, including our role, our position, and the amount of respect that we have from everybody around us. Lastly is 8 to 1. They have a fear of showing up authentically, not knowing whether or not they're going to be received. So after the first few months, when the dust has settled and everybody's excitement has kind of dwindled a bit and we settle into the routine of the season, they're going to go through a little bit of a hermit time, and closer to the end of the season is where I see them more emerging with a little bit of comfort. Like after about 6 months in, they're going to be like, we can be more comfortable in our decision-making skills and authority. And that makes sense with the Libra side, right? Because they're going to be bouncing off and wanting to be diplomatic. And at the end of the day, their diplomacy and their desire to kind of be right, but with an informed stance, not the ego stance that sometimes like the Aries sign wants to, take over when it comes to the air. I don't see that really happening. They're going to be very diplomatic, thinking through everything and only speaking once they've done a bunch of research or introspection on that. So like I said, don't be surprised if they take a little bit of a backseat in comparison to Mani Malhotra. And if they don't, then that'll be awesome. That means that their risk tolerance has heightened and that they're feeling good about it. So if you want to get your own human design reading 1 hour with me on Zoom, recorded with a custom page write-up, you can do so via the link in my bio or on my website right here. And I will catch you guys next time. I'd love to know who you'd like me to do next. Okay, take care.